It has been a steep learning curve, and while no adventure is without its setbacks, it's also been really rewarding. I'm excited to share that this video marks month number 1 of me being on YouTube. I have learned a ton, and I'm excited to share with you the things I've learned, from AI tools to setting up my studio to even the emotional processing. This video is especially for anyone who's starting off on YouTube and wants some tips or encouragement, or just for anyone who wants to see behind the scenes of what it takes to start a YouTube channel. Starting with a bit of backstory, I started this YouTube channel out of my dream of sharing my passion for deep relationships with God and with people. I also had the dream of being some kind of public speaker or preacher or author on the topic eventually one day, but you've got to start somewhere. So first, I figured out which form of media that I wanted to start my growth process on. Podcast versus a blog, short form videos versus long form videos, and long form videos seemed like the best choice for my overall goals. Plus the fact that YouTube you could eventually monetize. That would be pretty awesome one day if this channel could eventually substitute part or all of my day job. There were 2 major initial challenges that I faced. One was that I had never made any kind of remotely professional videos. Number 2, I barely ever use any kind of social media. I approached this scary, steep learning curve by just watching a bunch of videos on how to start a YouTube channel. But then I found Abdaal's Part-time Youtuber Academy, and it was a game changer. I also found the VidIQ app helpful and a free download called the YouTube Starter Workbook that was provided by a YouTube channel called It's Modern Millie. And the links for all of those are down below in the description. After all this education, I created an action plan, which started with branding. I created new accounts on Gmail, TikTok, and YouTube. I set up my YouTube channel with the banner and profile picture, brand name. Then I mimicked all my branding on TikTok. I also did research of other accounts that were similar to what I was trying to create to get an idea of the content that was working well for them and maybe steal, like an artist, some of the aesthetics that I wanted to mimic too. And just to keep things organized, under this new YouTube account that I had made, I only followed other accounts that were inspirations to me, and then I used my previous personal YouTube account for all my entertainment or workouts. The next part of my action plan was to decide on my content pillars. That is, the types of videos that I was going to make consistently. And the main 3 that I landed on were biblical teaching, reviews of Christian books, and interviewing other Christian leaders, starting with those in my immediate circle and then hopefully eventually moving towards more famous Christian leaders. Then I had to decide on the cadence of my posting schedule. So I decided on 1 long form video on YouTube each week for the building of community, and then with that long form video creating at least 7 shorts to be able to post daily those shorts on YouTube and on TikTok, more for the discoverability. Then I set up this whole studio, which I will be giving you a tour of later in this video. That was how I all prepped for everything, but then I had to figure out how to create a system of how to actually create a video. I'm about to share with you the tools that I've used repeatedly, but for every one of these that I'll share with you, I've probably tried like 3 to 5 other similar type of products that maybe weren't the best fit for me, but I'm just gonna share the ones that did work well for me. First, for me to figure out what I'm even gonna talk about, I use the tools on the VidIQ app and get inspiration from my journal. Once I've landed on a video title, I go over to ChatGPT or TubeSpanner's AI script writing tool and type in something to the effect of, write an outline for my 5 to 7 minute YouTube video titled, and then insert the title. Then I'll copy and paste that outline into OneNote and flesh it out into my own script. Although I'd probably switch to Notion for my note taking as I build my team. Then I record the video here on my iPhone 13 with my computer just off to the side so I can refer to the script and then look back at the camera and then just cut out all the parts where I'm looking over here. Once I'm done recording my video, I will plug my iPhone into my iMac and drag and drop the video into CapCut for editing. Then I'll go over to Canva to create my thumbnails. I'll also use the tool on the website remove.bg to remove the background of images I want to use in my thumbnails. To make shorts out of my long form videos, I was just doing it all by myself in CapCut, but then I discovered that there's a lot of AI tools that you can use to create short form videos out of long form videos. A few that I've tinkered with but haven't found a favorite yet include Video AI, Opus.pro, Clap app, and Vizard.ai. CapCut itself has its own similar AI feature too. Then I go back to ChatGPT and copy and paste my script into the text box and add, here's my script for my YouTube video, please write a 2-paragraph description for it, which I will then personalize and then copy and paste into YouTube as I'm posting. I schedule out ahead of time all of my posts so that I don't have to remember to go back into the app at exactly the time that I want it to show. This scheduling feature is built into YouTube when you post, but it's not built into TikTok, so I use another website called Buffer, which will upload all of my TikTok videos at the times that I've assigned. Then I move on to the next video and repeat this whole process from the top. Now, those are all the computer tools that I use, but you can't make a video without physical products and equipment too, which leads me to give you a little tour of my studio. Ready? Let's go. I'll start with just giving an overview of the room, which if you have seen the video that is popping up in the link right now, you will see just how huge of a transformation that there has been so far. And as you can see, I am recording here on my iPhone 13 in my awesome cell helmet case. Here are a couple of the phone stands that I use. These light stands I use at the 2 angles so I can have a cool and a warm light, and they each come with one of these little controllers so you can adjust the brightness and temperature. This is the iMac I use for editing and posting, and you see I've got OneNote and Canva pulled up. And this is my embarrassing, very beginner, janky, yet very effective way I can use my front camera and still see what I'm recording. This is a fancy camera I haven't figured out how to use well yet, and my Lenovo Thinkpad, which I can carry around the house to do my scripting in other places. If you've seen my other videos, you can tell I have intentionally set up each of the corners so they can be their own little recording area. Starting over here, my amazing corduroy beanbag that I wanted for years and finally got. This cool zigzag bookshelf I got on Amazon, as well as all of the fun Twinkle lights. Moving over to this corner, my husband and I put up this partial wood wall. Got this super cute bonsai light up tree on Amazon, as well as this versatile side table. And this couch is my favorite piece of furniture by far in the entire house. It's not only a super vibrant color, but it also pulls out into the most comfortable pull-out couch I've ever slept on, which allows me to double my studio as a guest room. Moving into the last corner here, this is a palette that I handmade, more Twinkle lights for the same in the other corner. This bookshelf was just so cool. I couldn't pass it up on Amazon. And my pet snake plant. And the mattress is not only for guests, but also sound dampening to decrease any echo in here. And the links for all of those are down below in the description. If you stuck around this long in the video, you've already heard me share all of the practicals and tools and equipment that I use, but just listing all of those off doesn't really give the full picture of this journey without sharing the mental processing too. And let me tell you, it has been a steep learning curve. And while no adventure is without its setbacks, it's also been really rewarding too, especially as long as I've kept necessary supports in place. Honestly, initially, I felt mildly irritated at God that he would call me to create a YouTube channel. My prayer went a little something like this. Seriously, God, that's a lot of work with very little short-term reward and no guaranteed success. But I trust you, so fine. So somewhat begrudgingly, I started my research. But after doing the Part-time YouTuber Academy, I've actually felt really empowered and hopeful, like the feeling of, I can do this. I felt pretty proud the first video I posted or the first short that I posted. I'd give God a proverbial high five, like, yeah, we did it, whenever I learned something new. My husband is my best friend, so he gets a play-by-play of every piece of this journey. But I've been a little bit more like shy or self-conscious when sharing with other friends and family. Maybe because it's partly that the channel just isn't very impressive, or maybe I just feel self-conscious about flaunting myself. I don't know. I probably have more processing to do on that. As for other little victories, VidIQ does send emails with stats like, you've reached 300 views or 25 uploads. And those are a nice little pat on the back, but what's even more rewarding is when I get a comment on a video sharing how it's impacted them. I also love the emails that I continue to get from the Part-time YouTuber Academy. because they not only remind me of little things that I've learned from them, but give me encouragements too. Especially since I don't know anyone personally in my life who is working on a consistent YouTube channel. These emails make me feel like there's not only someone who is in my corner rooting me on, but actually fully knows what I'm going through too. And I need those kind of uplifting messages because kind of on like a logarithmic growth curve, I'm still at the really steep part. So I still have a ton to learn. And I bet there's someone out there who can relate to this. But I personally have a bad habit of pressuring myself to excel in everything, and to do so in a time frame that is quicker than it actually takes to learn. And saying that out loud, I realize how illogical it is, which is why it really helps that I've shared my mental journey with my husband and my friends along the way. As for my growth so far, after I posted my first video, I sent it to a bunch of friends and family and got 12 subscribers, which I was very excited about, but that growth kind of stopped. And as of today, this is my 5th video. I only have 19 subscribers, but I'm not really that concerned because I know growth on YouTube is the long game. Also, as I eventually get more subscribers, I want them to be able to go to my channel and see that there's already a bunch of other videos for them to watch. So this right now is just my building up phase. I also realize that I really need to learn search engine optimization, but it doesn't sound all that exciting to learn, so I'll probably just outsource that. And now here's been my biggest setback so far. Despite popular advice to record a few videos before posting to help with consistency, I intentionally did not plan out my content ahead of time, partially because I thought I'd lose motivation if I didn't just dive in, but even more so because I'm learning every part of this process simultaneously. So I knew that the things I learned in the later steps of the process would inform my earlier steps. For example, as I was editing, I would realize how I could have recorded better. Or as I'm posting, I might see something I wanted to change in my script writing. And especially since I'm currently in gap of employment from my PA career, I had the time to just dive in. But this meant I had no margin for interruptions. So when I got sick for a week not long ago, I had to push back posting one of my videos until the next week. And with my unrealistically high standards of excellence, this was really discouraging for me. And I had to check my heart on why I was doing all of this in the first place. To not beat myself up for not meeting my goals and have self-compassion. As my husband was hugging me and I was crying out of being sick and no energy, I asked him to remind me, Colette, this is all a part of the learning process. Have grace on yourself. And it might sound silly, but it actually really helped him repeating that back to me. To avoid this from happening again in the future, I would love to build out at least 1 month of content so I have more margin for these kinds of normal life interruptions. Which leads us to me sharing with you my future goals and aspirations for this channel. My short-term goals not only include scheduling out my content at least 1 month ahead of time, but also outsourcing my editing and search engine optimization, shifting my process to start making my title and thumbnail before I even write my script, learning how to create affiliate links and get sponsorships, optimize AI tools, learn analytics on YouTube and TikTok, which I haven't even approached yet, and start incorporating live videos in my regular weekly cadence. My longer-term goals include finding ways to partner with other Christian YouTubers and authors, preachers, or artists, upgrading my equipment, scaling to other social media platforms, and streamlining the whole video making process with outsourcing. Some of that is looking way far ahead into the future. So while I'm still here in the beginning, I wanted to share some advice for other new YouTubers. The things I keep telling myself, and I want to tell you too, is be patient with yourself and have fun. It's actually a command. Like, Colette, you need to have fun. Not every day is going to be super exciting, but if it's not overall a positive experience, you're doing something wrong. Secondly, I would say make a plan and stick to it, but be flexible and readjust if necessary. Lastly, I would say try lots of different tools to figure out what's the right fit for you. But as you do so, keep moving forward. I can waste a lot of time researching tools that I'm not going to use yet, which can lead to information overload and analysis paralysis. I've found that the best use of my time is to only research a tool if I'm going to use it in the near future. Well, that about wraps things up. I like to conclude all of my videos with talking to God with you, but this isn't my normal content video, so if prayer's not your thing, feel free to just skip to the conclusion. God, thank you so much that we've reached my 1 month checkpoint of being on YouTube. It's been a tough journey, but I'm so grateful to have you and the people in my life supporting me along the way. I pray that this video is an encouragement and inspiration for other people who are at the steep point of their learning curve too. God, thank you so much for how you infinitely love every single one of us. Amen. Thanks again so much for joining me. If you want to hear more about the growth of this channel, you can click here. And if you want to watch some of my more regular content, you can click here. And I'll leave these up as you get to enjoy some of the bloopers from my other videos.
You know that's going in the bloopers.
Bleh.